Shalom and good evening. This is TV7 Israel News broadcast to you from Jerusalem, and in today's top stories. Israel warns its allies in the United States and Europe that any attack against it from Iran will be met with a disproportionate response. The IDF tells the Israeli public that it intends to inform it prior to an anticipated attack by Iran and its proxies. The United States reiterates its steadfast support for Israel in the face of Iran's hostile intentions. Jerusalem has relayed a stark warning to its allies in the United States and Europe, stressing that any aggression from Iranian territory toward Israel will be met with a disproportionate response. The warning, which essentially indicates rising prospects for a multi-sector conflagration, has triggered European capitals to urge Iran to climb down its escalatory ladder, asserting that its belligerent activities are threatening prospects for a cessation of hostilities to be manifest for the Gaza Strip.
Ho avuto una mezz'ora di colloquio con il ministro degli esteri dell'Iran, al quale ho ribadito l'invito alla prudenza, a evitare reazioni che possano pregiudicare l'accordo per il cessate il fuoco a Gaza e azioni che possono provocare una escalation che provocherebbe poi ancora vittime tra la popolazione civile. Lo stesso appello l'avevamo inviato a Israele in questi giorni.
Iran evidently responded to the European and American calls by reportedly agreeing to merely delay its attack against Israel, only in the event that a Gaza ceasefire is achieved. However, it is important to highlight the cynicism of the Ayatollah regime in Tehran, since it holds sway over Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar, who continues to reject any rational arrangement for a deal that would realize a temporary cessation of hostilities alongside additional far-reaching Israeli concessions in exchange for a release of hostages. Meanwhile, at the Defense Ministry in Tel Aviv, Israel's Parliamentary Foreign Affairs and Defense Committee held a meeting with Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, during the course of which the committee chairman revealed that Israel's defense establishment was re-evaluating its priorities in the multi-sector war.
במציאות המאתגרת של התקופה האחרונה אנחנו רואים עד כמה שההתמודדות שלנו באמת רב-זירתית, עם הצורך אולי בהכרעות דווקא בדרג המדיני, אם ממשיכים בתיעדוף של הזירות, אם משנים משהו, יש טיעונים כבדים לכאן או לכאן.
Jerusalem's top defense official, for his part, initially highlighted the impressive operational achievements by Israel's defense establishment versus its enemies.
בחודש האחרון מערכת הביטחון רשמה שורה של הישגים אופרטיביים מבצעיים מאוד מרשימים. זה מתורגם להקרנה של עוצמה אזורית וגם להתקדמות בכל מה שקשור להשגת מטרות המלחמה. כשאתה מסתכל על צה"ל, על שב"כ, על ימ"מ, על המוסד, יש פה הקרנה של העזה, של נחישות ושל התמדה.
Minister Gallant went on to address the ongoing situation vis-à-vis the Islamic Republic of Iran.
קודם כל אנחנו בימים של דריכות ושל כוננות. האיומים מטהרן וגם מביירות עלולים להתממש, וחשוב להסביר לכולם שמוכנות, היערכות וכוננות הם לא מילים נרדפות לפחד ולאיזשהו פאניקה. אנחנו בדריכות ובכוננות. בימים האחרונים אנחנו מקדישים את הזמן שלנו גם לחיזוק ההגנה וגם ליצירת חלופות התקפיות בתגובה, וגם כיוזמה אם יידרש בכל מקום ובכל אזור, כשהיעד המרכזי הוא הגנה על אזרחי מדינת ישראל.
The Israeli defense minister further highlighted the deep cooperation between Jerusalem and Washington, alongside other allies and partners in preparing to confront the Islamic Republic of Iran.
יש השקעה גדולה מאוד בימים האחרונים ברבדים שונים בתאום האסטרטגי. אני נמצא בקשר הדוק עם שרי הגנה, קודם כל עם לויד אוסטין, אבל גם גורמים נוספים בממשל האמריקאי ובבית הלבן. אני חושב שזו קואליציה שהוכיחה את עצמה בצורה טובה בחודש אפריל, ואני חושב שהיא עומדת איתנו. יחד עם זה, האתגרים תמיד יכולים להיראות בצורה שונה, ואנחנו צריכים להיות מוכנים לכל החלופות.
Defense Minister Yoav Gallant concluded the unclassified portion of his remarks by reiterating that Israel is keen on ultimately reaching a deal that would return the remaining 115 hostages from Hamas captivity. Meanwhile, in a message to Israeli citizens, IDF spokesman Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari stressed that irrespective of the heightened level of preparedness, there are currently no new defensive guidelines for the public.
בשלב זה אין שינוי במדיניות ההתגוננות של פיקוד העורף. אם יהיה שינוי בהנחיות, אנחנו נעדכן באופן מיידי.
Admiral Hagari went on to stress that the IDF will make every effort to alert the public in advance of an escalation without giving the enemies of Jerusalem an advantage.
מזה כ10 חודשים אנחנו נמצאים בתוך מלחמה. אנחנו ערים לקשיים ולאי הוודאות המתעצמת בציבור, בייחוד בתקופת הקיץ, מול קייטנות, תוכניות משפחתיות, היערכות לשנת הלימודים ועוד. כרגע אנחנו עוקבים בדריכות אחר תמונת המצב המבצעית. אנחנו נעדכן אתכם בתמונת המצב כשנדע וכשנוכל. נעדכן מוקדם ככל הניתן על מנת להתאים את ההנחיות לציבור. וזאת מבלי לתת לאויבינו יתרון מודיעיני או מבצעי. אנחנו עושים את כל המאמצים להכין אתכם מראש. ובכדי לאפשר המשך שגרה ככל הניתן לצד שמירה על דריכות ומוכנות. אנחנו נעדכן בכל שינוי במדיניות ההתגוננות בפלטפורמות של פיקוד העורף וצה"ל.
Meanwhile, at the U.S. State Department in Washington, Deputy Spokesman Vedant Patel seized the opportunity to reiterate the commitment of the United States to stand by the State of Israel in the face of Tehran's hostile intent.
We are committed to helping Israel defend itself, and we have put robust military capabilities in the region to do just that. But at the same time, we continue to work diplomatically to prevent any major escalation of this conflict. Those are our goals. As you all have seen, no doubt, the Secretary over the past week or so has been engaged in calls with his counterparts, discussing not just the need to finalize a ceasefire deal, but also continuing to work so that there can be de-escalation. We obviously don't want to see any kind of attack or response happen in the first place.
The State Department deputy spokesman went on to acknowledge reports on Iranian cyber attacks targeting the American people and a deliberate attempt to influence the outcome of the elections in the United States of America.
And we've raised concerns that Iranian cyber actors have been seeking to influence elections around the world, including those happening in the United States. These latest attempts to interfere in U.S. elections are nothing new for the Iranian regime, which, from our vantage point, has undermined democracies, or attempted to, for many years now.
Alongside concerns over Iran's proactive efforts to influence the outcome of the U.S. elections, Patel addressed recent intelligence indicating the Islamic Republic of Iran is planning to deliver hundreds of ballistic missiles to Russia.
We are deeply concerned by reports that Iran is planning to deliver hundreds of ballistic missiles to Russia, and we continue to communicate with our European partners and allies regarding potential measures we may take. We've been warning of the deepening security partnership between Russia and Iran since the onset of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. This partnership threatens European security and illustrates how Iran's destabilizing influence reaches beyond the Middle East and around the world. As we and our partners have made clear, both at the G7 and at the NATO summit this summer, together we are prepared to deliver a swift and severe response if Iran were to move forward with the transfer of ballistic missiles, which would, in our view, represent a dramatic escalation in Iran's support for Russia's war of aggression against Ukraine. Iranian officials also continue to deny providing any UAVs to Russia when evidence is plain for the world to see. Russia has used these UAVs in relentless attacks against the civilian population in Ukraine, against civilian infrastructure, and this duplicity is only the latest reminder to the international community that the Iranian regime lacks any credibility.
Thank you for watching TV7 Israel News. It is important for us to highlight that TV7 Israel is a 100% donation-based non-profit ministry with all of our productions available free of charge. Therefore, if you're blessed by our productions and would like to help support productions just like this, TV7 Israel News, Jerusalem Studio, and others, we would deeply appreciate it if you'd consider making a donation. You can do so by visiting our website at www.tv7israelnews.com. Separately, I'd like to encourage you as ever, pray for the peace of Jerusalem and salvation of Israel. I'm Jonathan Hessen, wishing you an Erev Mevorach Vebatuach. God willing, we'll see you during our upcoming TV7 Israel updates. Until then, Shalom from Jerusalem.